Hi everyone, my name is McKenzie Isaac, and today I'll be doing my French expose on the island of Martinique. In this presentation, we're going to first start off with some background on the island, then we're going to talk about two important figures, the culture, a couple landmarks, and then we're going to end off by talking about a few places I highly recommend you visit if you ever decide to take a trip to Martinique. The island of Martinique is located in the Caribbean in a specific region known as the Lesser Antilles. It is an overseas department of France and is considered a small island territory of the country. The island has a population of around 346,000 people and is around 436 square miles. The capital of the island, Fort-de-France, has a population of around 82,000 people, and the currency used on island is the euro. The official language spoken is French, though some residents speak Martinican Creole or Creole, which is similar to the Creole spoken in the neighboring islands of Saint Lucia and Dominica. Dominica is around 43 kilometers north, and Saint Lucia, which is actually where I was born and raised, is about 37 kilometers south. There is a ferry that can take you from Saint Lucia to Martinique, and it takes about an hour and 30 minutes, and it runs 3 times a week, and it's probably going to run you about 80 Canadian. The island of Martinique was discovered by Christopher Columbus on the 15th of June 1502 during his fourth voyage. In 1635, a Frenchman by the name of Pierre Belin Disnambuc, who was actually governor of the island of St. Kitts at the time, arrived on the island of Martinique with around 150 French settlers after the English caused them to flee the island of St. Kitts. They established the first European settlement for French King Louis XIII on the island at Fort Saint-Pierre, now known as just Saint-Pierre. Pierre Belin Disnambuc died in 1636, just a year after his settlement on the island. As a result, his nephew, Jacques del Dupaquet, took over as governor. Following Dupaquet's passing, his widow took over as governor. The settlers, though, frequently objected her decisions, and in 1658, French King Louis XIV restored French control over the island and gave all Dupaquet's children an inheritance. The island became a colony of France in 1674, and slavery was abolished by Victor Schœlcher in 1848. Ever since 1946, Martinique has been considered an overseas department of France. Empress Josephine, also known as Josephine Bonaparte or Josephine de Beauharnais, was Napoleon's first wife and Queen of Italy. She lived in Paris and Normandy until her death in May 1814 at the age of 51, when she died of pneumonia. Napoleon and Josephine's marriage was founded on love and passion, but it was called off for political reasons when it was discovered that Josephine was unable to bear an heir. When walking through La Savane Park in Fort-de-France, he used to be able to see a statue of the Empress. On the 21st of September 1991, an anonymous group beheaded the statue and splashed it with red paint. In 1992, the statue was deemed as a national monument, though it had not been fixed and still remained decapitated and covered in paint. Many citizens were upset at the presence of the statue on the island, as Empress Josephine was the one who reintroduced slavery in French colonies in 1802, 8 years after it had been banned under the French Revolution. On July 26, 2020, the statue of the Empress was pulled down and irreparably destroyed by activists. Aimé Césaire, a Martinican poet, playwright, and politician, was a key figure in the movement to restore the cultural identity of Black Africans. He co-founded the literary review Tropique in 1941, questioning the isolation of Martinican identity during World War II. Césaire's publications, like those of French botanist Henri Stirlet, emphasize Martinicans' racial and cultural authenticity, distinguishing them from European identity. His writings envisioned African unification and Black culture, as well as the development of Black localities and literary publications. Despite censorship, Césaire remained a vocal opponent of Martinican identity. He became friends with French surrealist poet André Breton, who later supported his work. Césaire's poem, Cahiers d'un retour au pays natal, published in 1947, was hailed as the finest lyrical masterpiece of our time. He was elected mayor of Fort-de-France and deputy to the French National Assembly for Martinique in 1945. Césaire died in 2008 of heart difficulties, and the only airport in Martinique was renamed after him in 2011, Martinique Aimé Césaire International Airport. The flag of Martinique was only very recently adopted on February 2nd, 2023. Before this, the official flag of Martinique was the iconic tricolor flag of France. Though the colonialist flag, the one with the snakes on it, was used as a sort of unofficial flag for the island as a way to differentiate Martinique from metropolitan France. The other flag, featuring a conch shell, is called the Ipsete. I figured it was important to mention as it was the flag used by the Martinican soccer team at the CONCACAF Gold Cup in 2019. Colombo, usually colombo de poulet, chicken colombo, though it can be cooked with any other meat, is a popular dish in Martinique. Colombo is the name of the spice powder. It is a mixture of turmeric, coriander, fenugreek, cloves, cumin, pepper, mustard seeds, and garlic. It is very close to curry, but it is actually less spicy. Colombo owes its name to its land of origin, Sri Lanka, which has been named Colombo in homage to Christopher Columbus. The dish is usually served with stewed beans, rice, and legumes. Grilled snapper with Creole sauce is considered the national dish of Martinique. It is made with chiva, onions, parsley, tomatoes, pepper, and other popular Martinican spices, and is usually served with green fig. The Bibliothèque Chaucher is a historical library and monument located in Fort-de-France. It was first built and presented to the public in Paris, where it was dismantled and transported in a boat to be rebuilt in Martinique 6 years later. It owes its name to Victor Chaucher, who was a writer and politician who played a leading role in the abolition of slavery in France in 1848. Victor Chaucher wanted the abolition of slavery and the emancipation of the Martinican population to be accompanied by access to culture for all. He directed a large personal book collection, around 10,000 books, be made free to the public for the education of emancipated slaves. While many of the original volumes disappeared in a fire in 1890, the library's collection has grown in size and contains many old books. Mount Pelee is an active volcano located on the island of Martinique. The word Pelee actually means bald in French, and this name was given to the volcano due to the scarcity of vegetation at its summit. The volcano is located roughly 24 kilometers northwest of Fort-de-France and reaches heights of around 4,583 feet. Its most recent eruption occurred in 1932, but during 1902, the worst volcanic disaster of the 20th century occurred, destroying the town of Saint-Pierre and killing around 30,000 people, which is roughly 15% of the island's population. Jardin de Balata is one of the island's top tourist destinations and is known for its beauty and botanical diversity. The garden is actually named after the town Balata, which it is situated in. It spans almost 8 acres and is home to a large array of tropical flowers, trees, and plants, boasting around 300 different types of palm trees alone. The botanical garden was created by the poet and horticulturalist Jean-Philippe Thos, who designed the space to reflect his childhood memories and celebrate Martinique's natural beauty. There is a traditional Creole house that can be found at the center of the garden that offers visitors outstanding views of the ocean, lush jungle, and giant palm trees. The garden is one of the many examples as to why Martinique is known as the Island of Flowers, or l'Île aux Fleurs in French. The garden officially opened to the public back in 1986 and is open daily from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and entry into the garden is going to cost you around 26 Canadian, which I think is completely worth it to experience such amazing scenery. Station Clément Estate is a former sugar house previously called l'Habitation de l'Acajou. It is around 40 acres and can be found in the town of Le Fressois, located in the southeast of Martinique. It is named after Homer Clément, who was mayor of Le Fressois and general councillor of Martinique back in 1887. He bought the estate during this time when it was put up for auction due to bankruptcy. In 1917, Clément founded his own distillery on the property, thus beginning the history of Rum Clément. When Homer died in 1923, the estate stayed in the family until 1986. The new founders, originally from Le Fressois, rehabilitated the estate to make it a place dedicated to Martinique's heritage, transforming the old distillery into a museum, featuring sculptures and local artwork. Like Jardin de Valeta, l'Habitation Clément is also home to a very beautiful garden where visitors can discover the West Indian flora and many species of trees and rare plants. And to conclude the visit, you should stop by the shop, where you can both buy and taste all the different rums made on the island. And I mean, if you ever do decide to make a trip to the island, you can't not go to the beach. Plage des Salines is said to be one of the best beaches on the island. It is located in the south of Martinique, around 30 kilometers away from Fort-de-France. It is best known for its soft white sand and calm clear waters. This beach has many amenities, such as lounge chairs, restaurants, and water activities that make it a great spot for a full-day excursion. And here are my references. I hope you learned a thing or two about Martinique.